It gives me great pleasure, please come, to introduce, welcome you to the Meet the Indian Panorama directors this afternoon. We'll begin with the Bangla film Shankhachil. It's a feature. Shankhachil, sorry, I'm sorry.
In English.
Yes, it means boundless in English, like Goutam Ghose sir says. So I have a personal pleasure and privilege to introduce, who doesn't need an introduction, Mr. Shri Goutam Ghosh, highly acclaimed director with 19 national awards, the only Indian to win the Victoria de Sica Award, and a pleasure to introduce Kushum Shikder from our neighboring country, Bangladesh, and
Habibur Rahman Khan, famous producer.
Yes, a producer from Bangladesh, sir? Habibur Rahman Khan Saab. And I will request Shri Goutam Ghosh sir to make an opening statement, and then we'll also wait for the other films which is a part of this press conference. Then we'll go ahead. And I also apologize for the confusion in the press conference timings. Our apologies.
It happens in the festival.
Thank you, sir.
Hi friends. It's indeed a pleasure for me to present another film in this year's Panorama. It's an Indo-Bangladesh co-production. Film was released already in West Bengal and also in Bangladesh, and did fairly well commercially, because you know what I expect always from my niche audience. But this film, I've made so many films, but why this? I wouldn't say it's a great film. But you know, this film is very close to my heart, close to my bleeding heart, because I was born 3 years after my homeland was partitioned, for a wrong reason, I believe. And since my childhood, I've seen the agony of this division in my family, amongst the relatives. Now, so many years have passed, but still that trial and tribulations of the partition persist. I think both in Bengal and also in Punjab. In Bengal, it's very peculiar because, you know, we speak the same language, the same people, same food habit, but there is a fence. Well, the fence was originally between India and East Pakistan. Then there was a huge resistance war and Bangladesh became a sovereign country. So what we are trying to create a bridge. Politically we are different, we belong to different nations, but we have been trying to create a bridge between two nations, especially Bengalis from India and Bengalis from Bangladesh. My recent film, the latest one, is based on a true story narrated by the border guards of both the countries. What they face now, because you know it's a very, very complicated border. Of course, there is a fence, but basically, the fence is just a fence. Somebody told me very jokingly that official border closes at 6 o'clock, the unofficial border opens after that. But the problem is, you know, the people who live in the border areas, they face a lot of problems, especially medical problems from both sides. Say, a village in Indian side, their proximity to a hospital is in Bangladesh, which is maybe 5 kilometers, whereas their nearest good medical center is maybe 100 kilometers. The same thing happens from the other side, where people can cross a river and go to the hospital, but going to a big hospital in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, may take about 8 to 9 hours. So we tried to make a film based on a true story, and the film is basically a contemporary film, but it has some connection with the 1947 partition. Some connection because the line drawn by Sir Cyril Ratcliffe was an absurd line because he was sitting in Delhi. He came for only 1 month, and after studying some documents, he divided the country. The Ratcliffe sort of award, they call it, both on Punjab, on the west, and also on the east. A lot of people ask me, okay, it's a matter of the past. Why we are bothered now? Yes, we are bothered now. You see the tension between India and Pakistan, so many border conflicts in both sides, in East Bengal, in India, Eastern India and Western India. So it's continuing. The hatred which began long back continues. That is very, very unfortunate part of the continent. Because this two-nation theory was an absurd theory in my opinion. How is it possible? Suppose in Calcutta, if say in Calcutta or take any in Mumbai or Delhi, there is a Muslim population live in some areas, in old Delhi's. Muslim population is more than the Hindu population. So make it Pakistan. Another part where Hindu population is more, make it Hindustan. According to two nations theory, there would have been 100 Pakistan and 200 Hindustans. Absurd theory. Anyway, it's a mistake of our then political leaders in connivance with the British, of course. But the British, before they left the country, they gave a better plan, which is a cabinet mission plan, where the idea was, don't divide the country, make a centralized rule who could control some major areas like finance, communication, defense and all that, and let's make a federal structure of provincial government, wherever, it depends on the demography, where there's a Muslim majority, make a Muslim governor, where there's a Hindu majority, make a Hindu governor. It was a better model, in my opinion, which Jinnah also agreed to that, partially agreed. But Pandit Nehru somehow didn't agree in 1946 Bombay Congress. Jinnah suddenly said, okay, then let's go back to Lowell resolution and divide the country. Anyway, we know it's a part of the history, but history is something, if you look at the history as present, because there is nothing called present. What is present? I'm talking to you, it's gone. It has become past. So we can take examples only from the history and correct mistakes. I don't know, we cannot, bring back undivided India. Let there be different nations, but we can improve our relationships. Eventually, I dream of a seamless border like Europe. Why not? So, certain things, you can express, your certain dreams you can express through films. So, Shankhachil is a very metaphoric expression of a mythical bird who can fly all over, but we human beings, we can't. We can't cross the fence without documents. But hundreds and thousands of people, they cross without documents, out of compulsion. Thank you very much.
Before we go to the question and answer session, I would like to introduce the director of, that's another feature film, of U-Turn, right? Mr. Pawan Kumar. Hello. And the lead actress there, Shraddha, Srinath. And of the non-feature, there is Gudh, I'm sorry. U-Turn, another feature film of the Indian Panorama. The director is here with us, Mr. Pawan Kumar. And the lead actor, Srimati Shraddha, Srinath. And of the non-feature film, there is Gudh. The director, Saurav Rai, is here with us. And the cinematographer, Mr. Abhishek B, he is also here with us. So I would also request Mr. Pawan Kumar and Saurav Rai to make a statement, then we'll open the house for Q&A. Thank you.
can share this.
Hello, I am Pawan and I have Shraddha Srinath, who's the lead actress of my film U-Turn. We released the film in the month of May. It premiered at the New York Indian Film Festival. U-Turn is a mystery thriller. It's based on a faulty flyover in Bangalore. So we created a fictional story around this flyover where a lot of traffic rules were violated. It was very dangerous, and it kind of was disturbing me that a flyover in the center of the city can have this traffic violation happening for so long. And we created this story and the film. It's a 2-hour film, sort of a mystery thriller, and it opened really well. It did 100 days in the theaters, and I think one of the best outcome of this film was that the government, I think within in just about 2 months ago, actually repaired the whole thing once for all. Now the whole flyover, which for about 10 years had this issues, is completely redone, and the film is titled U-Turn because people were doing an illegal U-turn on the flyover, which was turning out very dangerous for everyone. So now the divider has been put such that you will never be able to take a U-turn on the flyover again. So it was a contemporary film which talked about a city issue, and I think more than all the film festivals and every other thing the film got, what made us happy is that the government actually acted upon it immediately. And so we were at the Kolkata Film Festival as well just a week ago, and now Panorama. So we're very happy to be part of Panorama. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Saurav Rai of the film Gudh.
Hello, it feels nice to be here. Finally, after doing some rounds with the Cannes, Tel Aviv, we finally came here. So I am here with my cinematographer, Mr. Abhishek. I thank him for joining me here. Gudh is all about my childhood memories. I always had some kind of confusion while growing up, I always had some void, and I was a mysterious, very mischievous kind of a person. So when I look back, I realized it was due to the absence of my mother in my life. And that was because of a small thing called revolution for a new state from my place called Gorkhaland. So that was just the backbone of the story. So what I did in order to, satisfy myself was I jotted down all the memories from my childhood. So I tried to make sense all out of it. So it's all disjointed images and disjointed feelings. And what remained is like the film. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you all.
We'll open the house for questions. To request as usual, please identify yourself, name and organization, and please switch off your mobile phones or put it on silent mode. Thank you. Mike. Praveen.
Sir, my question is to Goutam Ghose, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, the recent move by Modi ji of settling that border with Bangladesh, I want your views on that.
Well, border with Bangladesh is a problem for the government. Always been like that. But we have to improve it. Whichever comes in power in Delhi, they try to solve the problems, but now there is a big problem. It's a water issue. Distribution of Tista water, because in today's world it's very unfortunate that we control water. We control water, what's happening between states in our country. Very unfortunate between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Because water is for human being. Human beings, sometimes they harness water, sometimes they misutilize water, sometimes they damage the environment. But you have to be very human in consideration of distribution of natural water system. So Tista water system is a natural thing, and people of Bangladesh is suffering for Tista water. So I think Modi government, they have started sort of solving the problem. I'm sure this new government will solve this problem and it will really give a great relief to the people of Bangladesh, to the parched land of Bangladesh.
Hi, sir. This is Faizan from Delhi.
Hi.
Regarding the question, I'd like to ask, while filming for such a sensitive topic, were there any limitations you faced?
No, well, we shot on the real border. Actually, sometime border security force, they were quite alert. We were shooting. But finally, we got a lot of sort of help from Bangladesh border guard. And, the stories were narrated by the border guards themselves. Because, they face day-to-day problem on the borders. Handling, there is a mosque. The main mosque is in Bangladesh, and the gate is in India. And the imam lives in India. So he has to go 5 times to read the namaz. So it depends on the border guards whether they allow him to go or not. Most of the time they allow. The imam goes. But sometimes, if there is a change of duty and the border guard says, no, Imam Sahib, you can't go now. So what will happen? Now they have to find out another imam to read the namaz. So it's a very funny situation. So we faced some problem, but somehow we managed. And it was my determination. I believe that filmmaking is a kind of an adventure. So I insisted that we shoot on the right location, no fake location, but we succeeded. It had some problems, some teething problem, because, it's a very delicate subject, as you mentioned, but somehow we managed.
Please take the mic, madam. The mic is there.
Idea came from that side of border or this side?
Both, because, I was invited for a joint flag lowering ceremony. I was the chief guest by our border security force and Bangladesh border security force. And, I stayed back for 2-3 days. And both the guards narrated me many stories. That this is one of the stories, the film is based on. So it's unbelievable stories, unbelievable, absolutely. And some stories, if you think it's an absurd, but it is reality because we are the same people. The same race was divided for certain reasons, certain historical reasons. So I wouldn't say that, which part, was important. I think both of the stories were important for me.
श्रद्धा जी से मैं क्वेश्चन करना चाहती हूँ
जी
ये फिल्मों में जब कोई आप साइन करती हैं एक नायिका के तौर पे तो आपने जो ये यू टर्न साइन करी इसमें क्या देख के साइन किया मतलब आपका रोल बड़ा है या आपको काम करने का अच्छे डायरेक्टर के साथ मौका मिल रहा है क्या देखा आपने क्या खूबी पाई इस फिल्म के अंदर जो आपने इस फिल्म को साइन किया यू टर्न को
Thank you for your question. U-Turn was my first film. मेरी पहली फिल्म U-Turn थी and main reason यही होगा कि director's profile. Director ने इनकी पिछली फिल्म जो है Lucia on a global platform it was shown and it received rave reviews and it's a wonderful film and I really love his style of filmmaking. Coming to U-Turn, the script of U-Turn मुझे बहुत पसंद आई because it's a बहुत ही real problem है बैंगलोर में and as a person, me as a person मुझे ये traffic problem बहुत ही problem देती हैं. I feel very disturbed when I see the state of affairs in Bangalore and in pretty much every city nowadays. So I thought it was a very relevant problem and a lot of people could associate with a story like this. And it was my first film, therefore I was more than privileged to be a part of this film. So मैंने choose नहीं किया film, Pawan ने मुझे choose किया, so actually it's just that.
क्वेश्चन पवन जी से आप दिल्ली की ट्रैफिक प्रॉब्लम के बारे में भी कुछ इस तरह की मूवी बनाने की सोच रहे हैं
No, I've never been.
वहाँ पे तो कई तरह के प्रयोग भी चल रहे हैं अलग-अलग
तो ये film, so this film is in talks to be made in Hindi. So when they were discussing about where to place the film, because now when it's made in Hindi, Delhi did come up as a space where they would probably want to remake the film, but the story is placed in Delhi. So it's Delhi or Mumbai, so that between the writers and the ones who are remaking it, so that conversation is happening. Yes.
So, I'm Shakuntala Bharane from All India Radio. I just wanted to know about your unofficial border starts after 6, you said. As a human being, I have not seen your film, but personal level, as a human being, both the side people are important. This is what in Bengali, this border, it is there. The first time I heard about this Bengal, Pakistan, we are very much aware about it. I wanted to know about the unity in diversity we say. Is there the actual unofficial between the relations, or it is between the religions? How it is been presented in the movie?
Well, in the movie, we have shown the constraint of people and their tribulations, people who live in the border areas. But in my opinion, we have failed as a SAARC country to unite our SAARC nations. Completely failed. Every year there's a SAARC summit, we spend millions of dollars, but the outcome is nothing almost. So it's very important that we reorganize SAARC and the spirit of SAARC. Because we are neighbors, we were together. Now we live in different nations, but our unity is very important for commerce, for culture, for everything. Look at the ASEANs in Southeast Asia. They are doing so well. If there is a power problem in Thailand, it comes from Indonesia. If Indonesia has some problem, it comes from some other country. But unfortunately, SAARC country, and for SAARC, in my opinion, since India is the strongest country, the biggest country, India as a big brother should take the lead and become more tolerant to become the leader of the SAARC. It's very, very important. Unless we do it, we'll face multiple problems in the future.
Hi, my question is to Mr. Saurav Rai. Sir, as you described, the movie is all about your childhood memories. So I'd like to ask, were those based on the actual incidents or somehow based on those memories?
Okay.
Or is it a real life story?
Okay, I'll just give you a hint of how I started it. I always felt while I was growing up, I was a part of a earthquake experience. So I always used to say to my friends and all, I've been I've experienced earthquake and all. But before I made this movie, I asked my mother, Mom, and you and we together, we were in earthquake, right? And she said, no, never. Then I realized probably while I was growing up, and when I was a toddler, maybe she used to roll around the corridor, and that image I had, because I had my upbringing with my grandparents. So I realized I had those kind of vague memories. So that's how I started, spinning all the threads. So it's very disjointed.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to say I'm so happy that I'm sharing this dais with all young filmmakers. I'm extremely sorry. But I think, it's a little bit disorganized press conference. Because, you're not focused. These young people have made films, the press people should give a focus on them. It's a very strange press conference I've never seen before in IFFI. That, the veteran filmmakers and young filmmakers, could have been a very interesting conference together, but press conference has to be focused. So I'm sorry to say that if you should change this as early as possible.
Sir, I want to ask one question.
Please.
सिनेमा में बहुत परिवर्तन आ रहा है आजकल और सब्जेक्ट नए पुराने सब मिलकर के भी कुछ कहते नहीं है. पहले फिल्में जो बनती थी वो कुछ कहती थी. आज की फिल्में क्या कहना चाहती हैं? क्योंकि सारे संसार में सिनेमा का परिवर्तन बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है. चेंजिंग वर्ल्ड हो रहा है पूरा. और फिल्में वहीं के वहीं जाके अच्छी फिल्में आती हैं चलती नहीं हैं, बुरी फिल्में आती हैं कुछ देखने चले जाते हैं। तो ये परिवर्तन जो सिनेमा में आया है, टेक्निकल परिवर्तन, इससे सिनेमा का बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है। तो इसको आप कैसा देखना चाहते हैं?
I think let's, answer this question, all of us, okay? Because, it's a very interesting question. I think we all together should answer. Should I begin?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I tell you a very interesting story. In 1924, the great American filmmaker D.W. Griffith had written an article, very interesting article, Movies 100 Years From Now. And he was a dreamer. Besides predicting for sound cinema, colors, 3D, what he predicted or dreamt is that this new marvel cinema will reach all over the world and people of different nations will come to know each other more closely. So eventually he predicted there will be an international brotherhood and there will be no war in the world in future. That was Griffith's dream in 1924. But unfortunately, after that, there was horrible Second World War, followed by Vietnam War, war in Korea, Indonesian War, many proxy wars in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, wars in the Middle East, war, war, and war. So cinema couldn't change it. As you said, it was very, whether cinema has any role. Cinema couldn't change the world. Cinema couldn't bring brotherhood. But what cinema did, it has recorded collective memories of people and time. That's very, very important for all of us. And another thing, cinema was born with such kind of dichotomy of change, silent to sound, from black and white to color, from analog to digital. So whenever, there was a change of perception of the filmmakers and the audience too. So it's a very interesting world because, the cinema is entertainment, at the same time it is recording our memories. So it's a great challenge for the filmmakers in today's world when everybody can click pictures. So what filmmakers can give, what DOPs can offer, a different kind of images which nobody, all of them can't capture it. So it's a very, very interesting thing. I'm sure that the young filmmaker, he can share, Pawan can share with us, because, they are making films now. I've been making films for so many years. And your question is about the relevance of cinema.
So I think Sir more or less given a complete picture on how things have changed from a very today's point of view of making films and what challenges we face. I very early figured that there are probably you can classify films in two types when it gets produced. One is where you know this is what the audience likes, and then you start working backwards and start making a film because that's what sells. Or you say that this is the film I want to make and then find a way to get it to the audience. I think these are the two processes. So I figured that I'd rather first know why I want to make a film, make the film, and what we have done, at least from our team, is that we've also found innovative ways to make our film reach out to the audience. So somewhere the research and development went in both the departments, not just making the film, but also making sure that we take it to the audience. So we never worked backwards. We never said that, okay, the horror genre is working this year, so let's make a horror genre. So that didn't happen. And I've somewhere also understood that both need to exist. There is a commercial, economical point of view of cinema making, and there is this point. And I think only when both the kind of films coexist will the audience actually come and accept both. I was for the longest time thinking that commercial cinema is not good for the whole thing, for the audience. But lately I've realized that when you eat a full course meal, you also need everything. And somewhere the audience, after watching 7 or 8 good films which are closer, they want to actually unwind by watching something which is like what we call as a commercial film, which is made to please. So I've come to accept this, and we have found a good space where we actually make films that we want to do, but also, enter a space and release it in theaters and get it to the audience.
That's
मैं
good.
बांग्लादेश के प्रोड्यूसर से पूछना चाहूँगी कि किसी हिंदी फिल्म से आप प्रभावित हुए जो बांग्लादेश में बनाना चाहें, अपनी भाषा में आप बनाना चाहें, कोई ऐसी फिल्म हिंदी फिल्म से आप प्रभावित हुए हैं जो आप अपनी भाषा में बनाना चाहेंगे?
Actually, I see a lot of film, and for your information, once I did produce one film in Bengali with Bombay. So, and another interesting thing is, for me as a producer, I love film. I've started producing film since 1972. Started with great director Ritik Ghatak, was my first director. After that, Goutam. So I love film. I make film. It's a passion. I never think what will happen to commercial circuit, but I make film. That's the thing.
सर मेरा एक छोटा क्वेश्चन हो रहा है आपसे कि मैंने सिनेमा के ऊपर करीब 67 साल से लिख हो गए 67 बच्चे सिनेमा पे लिखते हो गए। पहले फिल्में जो चलती थी, लेकिन आजकल ये आर्टिस्ट डोमिनेटेड फिल्म जा रही है, तो आपको लगता नहीं कि ये फिल्में जो है पहले आर्टिस्ट चूज होते हैं, फिर कहानी लिखी जाती है, फिर संगीत उसमें जोड़ा जाता है, फिर इन बातों का जो परिवर्तन आ रहा है वो आर्टिस्ट के ऊपर क्यों हो रहा है? फिल्म होना चाहिए, सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर होना चाहिए। तो सब्जेक्ट इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन द आर्टिस्ट, द आर्ट इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन द आर्टिस्ट। तो द सीनियर जो चेंज हो रहा है इसके अंदर, ये सीनियर किस प्रकार से फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को कहाँ ले जाएगा? एक छोटा एग्जांपल बता रहा हूँ, मैंने 2 पैसे का, 1 आने का, 2 आने का सिनेमा थिएटर में देखा है, और मैंने 1 शो भी देखा, 2 भी देखा, 3 भी देखे, 4 भी देखे, 5 भी देखे, सिनेमा जो ओपन भी किए, बंद भी हो रहे। तो ये सिनेमा जो परिवर्तन हो रहा है इस प्रकार से, सिनेमा 100 रुपये टिकट, 200 रुपये टिकट, 500 रुपये टिकट, 1000 रुपये टिकट, तो गरीब आदमी सिनेमा जाना बंद हो गया, फैमिली सिनेमा जाना बंद हो गई, टीवी पे फिल्में आने लग गई। तो इस परिवर्तन में सिनेमा कहाँ खड़ा होता है, किस जगह खड़ा होता है सिनेमा आज के युग में?
Well, because you have 2 questions about the artist and then about the ticket rates of cinema. About the artist, because I've handled many actors, don't blame the stars always. Because, the market force make them stars. Okay? And the stars, they play a big role of collecting money. Like pre-selling films like big stars do. But, they have a great hunger for good roles. All the actors. I've handled many stars, many big stars from Bombay, from Bengal. Only thing I ask them, look, you do my character, forget about your stardom, your star hello. All of them agreed. And none of them really sort of put any star tantrum with me. So, because it's a contradiction for them. They have to survive as a star with so many things. And, when you become a star, your life becomes very expensive. So, it's a kind of market force, they control the entire thing. But all the stars, all the actors, they have a great passion for performing a particular character. And about your second question, the ticket rates are going up because, without that, cinema cannot survive. You see the overheads and the expenses of a theater has gone up so much, and there is hardly any state subsidies, I don't know whether you have any state subsidies on theater. No, you don't. You have. Pawan Kumar says that they have some subsidies, only Karnataka. So it's very expensive. You see, I remember when I was smoking Will's filter, it was first time, it was 55 rupees a packet. And then cinema ticket was about 3-4 rupees. Now a packet of Will's filter, I don't know smoke Will's filter nowadays, must be 200 rupees. And cinema ticket is 100 rupees. So you see the increase. If you compare, cinema ticket has not gone up so much.
हेलो गौतम सर, पाकिस्तान और इंडिया के पार्टीशन पे कई फिल्में बनी हैं। शायद फर्स्ट मूवी है ये बांग्लादेश और इंडिया के पार्टीशन पे, और जो भी फिल्में बनी हैं पाकिस्तान और इंडिया के पार्टीशन पे, उसने काफ़ी अट्रैक्शन, मास अट्रैक्शन, लोगों की पब्लिसिटी भी बहुत अच्छी हुई, रेवेन्यू भी बहुत अच्छा है। ये फर्स्ट मूवी है बांग्लादेश में।
वेल, बांग्लादेश के पार्टीशन के ऊपर फिल्म बनी है, ऋतिक घटक का मेनी फिल्म्स। उसमें क्या है, had the pangs and agony of partition. मगर contemporary problems on the borders, this is perhaps the first film, absolutely. So I'm sure that many films will be made in future because it's a long story, and the healing process is a very long process. It will take a long time to heal this scar. I beg your pardon?
Out and out doesn't look like a problem because both are Bengalis.
Yes.
Rabindranath Tagore, both have got that much.
Yeah, the national anthem of Bangladesh and India is written by Tagore.
It is a surprise for us, because since we stay here in Goa, we hear the problems of Hindu, Muslims and all this. But this is something, a big surprise for me, like being two Bengali people, having different countries and having a serious problems where you are bound or forced to make a movie on that. So it's really interesting, sir.
Yeah, it's because, that's why I said I made this film with bleeding heart. And, but the effort is, we have to go on making cultural links between two Bengals through cinema, through poetry, through songs, and so on. That's very, very important. And the spirit is that you have to look at it through one window, that our language is Bengali. And Bengalis are living all over the world. Like, Kannada people living all over the world, Tamil people living all over the world. Whether they live in Malaysia or in Tamil Nadu, or the Kannada people live in Bangalore or in Washington, doesn't make any difference. In my opinion, one window for a particular race, for a particular language, for a particular culture is very, very important. That's how we can become globalized. Not the other kind of globalization when a power controls the globalization. But globalization is true globalization should come from within. That is my opinion.
For your information, when we are shooting this film, still border is like this. One person has got his bedroom in Bangladesh and his kitchen is in India.
Yeah, there are many villages like that.
The same villages. So this is the condition.
It's unbelievable,
Unbelievable. If you don't see, it's unbelievable.
Because Radcliffe had drawn the line without knowing that the line is going through the kitchen. However, we must ask question to our young filmmakers. They are our future, absolutely.
My question is to Saurav Rai. Sir, this film you have made is on your childhood memories. So, in future, what are the other themes you would like to make films on?
I started making films I started enjoying when I started, delving into myself, basically a personal story. So I started with my grandfather, then I shifted to my mother. Now again, I'm going to shift towards my future themes. What I'm considering is towards my village relatives, like, you know, there's kind of a motive, kind of a pattern, or a kind of a, like, things which happens in the village. So, yeah, there are many things which are happening there. So basically I'll just move around similar kind of themes which will touch me. First of all, it has to touch me. Then only I can think about it.
But you live in a beautiful country.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
My question is to Saurav. Since we have not watched it, what is the takeaway of this? Means what you focus on through your memories by documenting?
Sorry, I didn't get you properly.
In this film, hello. In this film, by depicting your memories, what is the takeaway? Means what you are trying to say?
Basically, I am reliving myself. I relived myself, and I think for a long time
You are trying
back.
to say also something.
Yeah, but for a long time back, I think I'll be happy when I look back. You know, at least I, you know, is out something from my brain, so I can shift to some other things in life. So that was one effort.
Saurav, what is the vision of your as young actor, producer, writer? What do you think about this coming? What is your vision about cinema in coming times?
Cinema, I think, as long as, for me, I'm concerned, like, as long as I have urge to tell something, then I'll keep on telling. Then like, just some time back I was thinking, if I don't have anything to say, if I don't have urge to say, I necessarily doesn't mean I have to make a movie, I have to make a film. I have to have an urge. So I believe strongly in that thing, like, you know, I have to have this strong urge to tell something that has to hit me. So that's how I like to.
Kushum, you want to say something?
Thank you, sir. Hello. I'm from Bangladesh, and on behalf of Bangladesh, warm wishes and greetings for you. We'll be glad if you visit our country. It's a nice country. It's very similar to Kolkata. As sir said, our culture, our norms, our language are same, and sometimes very small and big habits are also similar. And since you didn't watch Shankhachil, I guess, you should watch it and take tissue papers with you because you will get very emotional and sensitive after watching this. That's it. And I think taking participation in IFFI is every actor's one of the biggest dreams, and I have fulfilled this dream last night. My film Shankhachil, our film Shankhachil has been screened last night, and I was honored, I was very glad that when people came out from the hall and was very emotional, that they were asking many questions to our director, to me as well. I was touched, and I was glad that they appreciated me a lot after watching Shankhachil. So you should watch Shankhachil. Promise me that you will watch Shankhachil. Okay, thank you, that's it.
If there are no more questions, we'll end up here. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the...
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We all hope we get to watch all your films, U-Turn and Gudh, and of course...
And I'm very happy we shared the dais, all of us, together.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
If you had time, you could have sort of continue as a seminar. Joking.
He was doing this, so I thought, he sat here and he did this.
I know.